Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to talk about something really interesting today. This idea that the love you attract is a direct reflection of your own energy. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's start with a quick gut check. Does this sound familiar to you? Are you always the one in the relationship who seems to be fixing things, carrying all the emotional weight for the other person? If you're nodding along right now, let's unpack what's really at the core of this. And here's the first big twist. The problem isn't that you need to become more magnetic. See, here's the key thing to get. You're already a magnet. You have this magnetic energy inside you, right now. The real question we need to ask is, what are you consistently pulling into your orbit with it? Think of your energy like bait on a fishing hook. If you keep catching the same kind of fish over and over again, it's probably time to take a good hard look at the bait. For a lot of us, that bait is a mix of overgiving, of people-pleasing, and this deep-seated need to fix other people. You might even find yourself putting up with some really unhealthy behavior because, honestly, it feels kind of normal. Maybe it's a pattern you learned way back in childhood.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into this whole fixer dynamic. It is one of the biggest roadblocks to finding real, healthy love. And to really get it, we've got to look at what's happening underneath the surface, in the subconscious.
You see, when you step into that role of the fixer, you're not actually meeting your partner on a level playing field. Energetically, you're setting up a little bit of a hierarchy. You're not connecting eye to eye. You're kind of looking down from this position of supposed strength. This really just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly highlights that subtle power dynamic that's going on. When you try to fix someone, you're unconsciously putting yourself in a position of power. And right there, you're creating a fundamental imbalance in the relationship.
So, the big question is, why on earth do we do this? Well, and this is the tricky part. As unhealthy as it is, this pattern has some hidden payoffs. Fixing is a form of control. And you know what? Control feels predictable. It feels safer than the unknown. It's also a brilliant way to avoid your own vulnerability. I mean, if you're busy with their problems, you don't have to deal with your own, right? And deep down, there's often this quiet hope. If I can just heal them, then they'll finally be able to meet my needs. It's kind of strange, but it can feel so much safer than the raw vulnerability it takes to connect with a true equal.
Now let's talk about the unintended consequences of this fixer energy. Because even though it might feel like you're helping, it's actually doing the exact opposite of what you want. It's pushing away healthy connection.
Let's just be really clear about this. At its core, trying to fix someone else is really just an attempt to control them and to control the outcome of the relationship. And here is the great paradox. That energy, that need for control, is the very thing that repels the deep, healthy love you're looking for. People who are secure, who have regulated nervous systems, they can feel that. They sense you overcompensating, and it just feels a little off to them. It makes them wonder, what is this person trying so hard to prove? So this is where you can really see the two sides of the coin. That fixer energy, it's magnetic, all right? But it attracts people who need enabling. It attracts projects instead of partners. It attracts codependent situations, and at the exact same time, it repels deep, authentic connection. It pushes away people who are your equals. It keeps secure, healthy people at a distance. You're basically catching one type of fish, while the ones you actually want just swim right on by. This is such a critical distinction to make. That feeling, that intoxicating rush of being needed, it's so easy to mistake that for love, but it's not. It's the classic sign of codependency, not a partnership between two whole people. So, we've spent some time diagnosing the problem. But what about the solution? How do you actually change the bait you're putting out there? Well, the answer is in a conscious process called repatterning. Now, repatterning isn't about just tweaking your behavior on the surface. No, this is about going all the way to the root of the problem. It's about connecting with that inner child part of you, the one who learned, I have to be the fixer to be loved, to be safe. And when you can heal that part of yourself, that's when you can consciously choose a new, more authentic way of being.
So what does this path actually look like? Well, first, you've got to recognize the pattern in yourself and do it without judgment. Then you can do that deeper work of connecting with your inner child to address the root cause. That then gives you the strength to consciously practice letting go of control. And finally, you get to make the powerful choice to embrace your own authenticity, to choose being real over just being needed.
And what all this leads to is this incredibly profound shift. You're essentially changing your energetic compass. Your new magnetic north isn't about getting approval from others anymore, it's about your own authenticity.
I mean, just look at this shift. The old goal was all about outside validation, right? Being the good guy, the peacemaker, doing anything to avoid being seen as the bad guy. But the new goal, it's all about internal alignment. It's about being honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about empowering other people to solve their own problems. And it's about connecting with them from a place of wholeness, not from a place of need.
And really, this is the main takeaway. All of your energy right now might be tied up in fixing and controlling and people-pleasing. When you consciously decide to let go of those things, you're not just stopping a habit. You are freeing up a massive amount of energetic space. You're creating a vacuum, an opening, for something new and so much healthier to come into your life.
So that's the thought I really want to leave you with today. Just imagine for a second, what if you let go of that heavy burden of being the fixer? What new possibilities would open up for you? Who could you meet eye to eye? What kind of amazing partnership could you build if it wasn't based on need, but on a real mutual connection between two whole, complete people?